Okay, here's all of the things I'm going to need to make this tank top. Here's my tank top and my two straps. I'm going to be using a Schmitz jersey knit needle. I'm going to be using the 90-14. I tried using the 70-10 and the 80-12 and I was skipping too many stitches. So I went to the biggest needle in this kit. I'm not sure, there are probably even higher ones that you can go to if you're going to have problems using the 90-14. But I still skip a stitch every once in a while, but it's not so bad that I worry about it. But they probably have a higher, a thicker jersey knit to get through the knit and the elastic. But so far this is working fine, and I've made quite a few, so that's what I'm using. I'm going to be using the Sewology elastic, the clear elastic. I like this for sewing because it's a much thinner elastic, and right on the back of the package it'll even tell you can be used for swimwear, aerobic wear, or as a stabilizer for seams in knit garments. This says this thin, soft, stretchy elastic that it stretches 3 to 4 times its original length. But they do tell you that you can use it as casing, or you can stitch directly to the wrong side of your fabric. And it says be sure to stretch your elastic several times before applying. I think they tell you to do that because it's like that stretch magic where you have to get that initial stretch out. So I've been doing it on all of these tank tops. I haven't several times. I've only been doing it just like you see right here. And basically this is going to be inserted into this is going to be the top of our this is going to be the stabilizer for this rib knit on the top of the only place we're going to do it is across the top with this elastic. Now the Dritz has the same thing. It's a lot thicker elastic. You can try that too if this is all you can find. I'm sure it works fine. I've used it, and like I said, but it's a much thicker elastic. It's much stronger, and it takes a little bit more work for your machine and needle to get through this thicker elastic. But it works perfectly fine on the sewing machine. So it's just a matter of preference. If I was going to use this for doll shoes, I would use the Dritz. If I'm going to use it for sewing to stabilize knits, I would use the Sewology. So they both have their uses. So they're both worth having. So I'm going to use the Sewology one, and I'm going to use just a tiny strip of this sew-on Velcro for the closure in the back of the tank top. I only need like a little strip, maybe a couple inches. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. So I'm going to, I've got my jersey knit needle in here. I've got plain white cotton. To do the straps, I'm going to just fold them in half. And I gotta see which is the right side of the fabric. This is the right side. So fold the right sides together and just put a couple pins in. Make sure, because we're dealing with knits here, we're dealing with a striped knit, we want to line up our patterns so that everything will, when you turn it inside out, it really doesn't matter, but you kind of want it in case you can see the sew line, that all your stripes will line up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I like my straps to be, you can make your straps any size you want, but I'm going to make the same size straps as I did on this pink one, which is, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see how that size is? It's 1, 2, 3, you see 4 ribs, so you see 4 in the back and 4 in the back, 4 in the front and 4 in the back. So that's like, so that's what you want to see on. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to line it up to the other side of my right side of my sewing machine. I'm going to go to a middle stitch. I'm going to use my you don't want this when this stretches, you don't want any of your threads to break, so I'm going to use my stretch stitch, which in my case is my number 2 setting, but use whatever you have to use to get the a tiny bit of stretch. I'm going to start, that's why I said make extra, so you can start not at the end of the fabric, because you don't want your machine to eat this up. Some people there's something that's called a spider, that you can put a spider in there so that the fabric doesn't catch into your feed dogs. But you know what, I just as soon just make extra fabric and cut it off. It just saves you so much trouble. Okay, so I'm going to, my feed dogs are going to be fine because I've got fabric evenly spaced on, I have the fabric on both sides of the feed dogs. And I'm just going to sew, you can barely see the side of that fabric right there, and that's going to be my strap. And I'm set on a regular size knit stitch. Just whatever the factory setting on this machine was. And I'm just going to go sew. And this is going to be 2 up, 1 back, 2 up, 1 back. And I'm going to let my machine do the sewing. I'm not going to sew for it. I'm just guiding the fabric. It's getting a little out of alignment here. Okay. So that is sewn, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. So I'm going to need to turn this inside out, so I'm going to cut off my threads. And on this part right here where I left that, where I started into the fabric, when you use these loop turners, if you don't have a loop turner, that's fine. Just when we trim this down, you could put a tiny safety pin on here and turn it the same way. So this is really nice to have, but it's not essential. It's not absolutely necessary. Okay, so I've got my nice stitch. I've got you're going to have to use this knit stitch for these, because if you're using these on the spaghetti straps for like the halter, and if you don't have a knit stitch in there, either a really tiny zigzag or your knit stitch or whatever, it's going to snap your threads and it's going to break your spaghetti strap. So you don't want that. So I'm going to cut over about 2 ribs from my line of stitching. And the reason for that is because this, if I turn this inside out, all this fabric is never going to fit inside the spaghetti strap. So like I said, about 2 inches from the line of stitching. I can't even see it. I better go get my better glasses. Okay, so I've got that 2 inches, about 2 ribs over, and that will all fit inside my spaghetti strap, I think. Yeah, some of it's a little thick. Let me cut some more off. Okay, but whatever I cut off on this one, I'm going to want to cut off the same amount on the other strap, because I want them to look the same. Okay, so if you use this, the instructions say to do it on a bias, which we're not because we're doing knits, but it says to cut a angle, so you can use this tool. So that spot where I left it open for the feed dogs, I'm just going to cut that into a diamond. So I'm going to insert my loop turner into the knit, And then I'm going to put it up here on this knit piece of fabric. I'm going to turn it so that the latch will close, and then I'm going to pull it down and pull it through. Now, if you're halfway through and you lose your strap, you can actually go in there with this tool and feel around until you catch that. If it's like stuck here somewhere, you can actually feel around, and because this is knit, even if it wasn't knit, you're able to catch it and pull it all the way through. I've lost a couple of them already, especially when I did those big old long spaghetti straps. I had a couple stick halfway down, and it came off the turner, but not a problem. Okay, so we've got one strap done, and I'm not going to do the other one on video. I'll do it off video to save some time. So let me finish the second one of this, and then I'll come back and we'll start working on the rest of the tank. Okay, I'll be right back.